here's another League of Legends game coming your way, this time from the jungle. So we might have an Urgot this game. And apparently we do. Question the enemy team has to be asking is whether or not that's Urgot top or AD carry. And that Zillion is going to be so freaking annoying. He is banned out, otherwise this would be one of those one of those few games where I actually want to play him. So I'm wondering if I want to go Kindred. Okay, so that means it's Zillion support, TF mid. Like, when TF's on the field, I love to go Nocturne. It's just, I'm pretty sure you guys are fed up with it. Let's go Pony. I can try to get him up to Mastery 5. So this is the Mastery page. Diana jungle, eh? Aw, man. Yeah, that's more in line to what I'd expect. I'll get a Diana jungle game eventually. This is not that game, obviously. Like, she would not fit in this team comp, that's what I mean. So I want to say our bot lane has the advantage over theirs, but we'll see. That may be the lane I camp, either that or mid. Most likely mid, to be perfectly honest. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to how I act when a TF is on the field, but I love to camp the fuck out of that guy. Can't tell a lie, that is one of my guilty pleasures of the game. So let's see what he's packing in terms of summoner spells. Please no ghost, please no ghost, please no ghost. I don't know about you guys, but like Pool Party Misfortune is... it's like one of the lower quality Pool Party skins, I think. Generally, they're all pretty good, it's just... that one's kinda lame. When I was looking at custom skins, I know there were a few others that people made. I just noticed Rammus and Thunderlords. There are a few other Pool Party skins people made. And, like, they're comparable to the actual really good ones. Of course, they're ridiculous with, like, floaty things and stuff like that. I don't know if I'm going to run any of those, though. So, what caught my eye here is I didn't notice Urgot's running Thunderlords. So, one thing to keep in mind is Urgot has no way to get out of Kled's grappling hook thing. But he pretty much has to dodge it. And then when you remember Kled is resourceless, yeah. I really do hate that character. Not as much as I hate stuff like Master Yi, but it's close. And I didn't even read the tip, unfortunately. So as far as I know, Hecarim hasn't really received any changes since I last played him. It's just other characters have risen up to popularity, and he was kind of forgotten. Like, nothing on him actually changed until just now when the Cinderhulk got changed. No?
30 seconds until minions spawn.
I wouldn't say OP, but he's very solid. So if I don't get a leash, I'll start chickens. If I do get a leash, I'll start red. Right now I'm just staying guard on an invade. It's not too likely because they only have a gold card for CC, really. Gold card and grappling hook. But anyway, let's run down Hecarim. No pun intended. Passive is Warpath. You get AD scaling off of your bonus movement speed. The ratio scales with Hecarim's level at certain breakpoints. Q is Rampage. Burns through a lot of your mana, but you spin your javelin thing, or scythe in this case, and it does damage to everything around you. When you have the stack, it goes on a lower cooldown than normal. So I need to get the potion ticking, and I'm not going to use my Q anymore because I need to save up my mana for blue buff. Not going to bother with the wolf camp because I can't really afford to take it. So W is Spirit of Dread. You deal damage over time to everything around you within a circle. You get healed for the damage dealt. And unfortunately, you can only heal for so much off of minions and monsters, but there's no cap for champions. I probably shouldn't have even used this because it's hard to say. And I have to mute the mic for a moment, so I'll just mouse over the E, pause it to read it, and then the ult. My goal there was just to weaken him to the point where he can't really take his red. So I can smite this for health. But the other thing to point out is since I have red buff, I'm going to heal. He didn't. Can't get up there in time. So I need 900 gold to get my Cinder on this back. I'm going to try to take the Scuttle Crab, and then I'm going to try to return to get the Chicken Camp. That should be respawning shortly. In case you're wondering, there's stuff going on outside, that's why I'm going to be muting the mic periodically. The other thing that I have to put out as a bit of a disclaimer is it may distract me from time to time, so hopefully you don't mind if I have to idle somewhere on the map for like 5 to 10 seconds. But to pick up where I left off, E is Devastating Charge. You get a surge of movement speed. Your next attack knocks back the target. Damage scales off of how far you've traveled. Actually, I can go take this and then I can come back to the top end. I should be able to get to the red buff just as it spawns. This may put me in position to hit level 6 off of the red buff. Now, I don't really want to smite this, but I may be forced to. Nice one. They got her. So I should be able to smite these now if I wanted to. Thing is, you should not want to. So I'm going to be maxing this second Q first. Finally, your ult is Onslaught of Shadows. You summon your Wild Hunt. You barrel down at a target. This might be a game I win just for being on the team, which would be pretty refreshing compared to the top laners I've had lately. Like, this is not really a diss on the Urgot, but I seriously mean I've had some guys in top lane who I seriously think it would be their first game ever playing. But anyway, you summon your Wild Hunt, you dash at a target, deal magic damage. The guys who are near you at the end are feared. Now, I do not want to use my W here because it doesn't really... let me put it this way. This does 90 damage. Okay, so this is the part where I went AFK. I am going to be providing post-game commentary from here on out. So in case you're wondering, I was away for about a minute. I went ahead and fast-forwarded this. It's at 5 times speed, I believe, so you don't have to sit here and just see me idle. But unfortunately, I lost a lot of health just because I had to just sit there and auto-attack it while I wait for the auto-attacks and the Cinder to kill it. Now, since I was away, that caused the blue buff to respawn, so my whole plan of getting down to the red buff as it respawned, then jumping on the bot lane, has fallen apart. What's worse is, since I was away, I had to take a lot more damage than I should have, so I'm lower health than I should be. Should also mention real quick while you watch me kill the Scuttle Crab, I went ahead and added some clips from other Hecarim games I played before this one. In case you want to know, top lane threw both games for us. I believe both times it was refusing to group. So if you actually want to see how those were going, and some of the better moments, you can see it at the end of this video. But anyway, right here TF is making his move down bot. Urgot's being collapsed on, and eventually Urgot's going to ask an incredibly stupid question. And in case you're wondering what that question is, it's why am I getting camped and you're not doing anything? And the problem is, he's playing like a complete and utter dumbass. He has basically invited Rammus to continue showing up there. He's not doing anything to try to alleviate any of that problem. As a range guy, especially one with a slow, he shouldn't be having this kind of trouble. It's just misplay, sloppiness, whatever you want to call it. I prefer stupidity myself. And since there's really nothing I can do for the top lane, I'm going to ignore it, and we just have to prepare for a late game Kled. So right there, one of the golems got launched over the wall. Kind of annoying. As a result, I have to spend a little bit longer trying to kill that. But the lanes I want to try to influence this game are going to be the mid and the bot. So one thing to take away from this game is, if you want to win, you must adjust your play at times. Urgot adamantly refuses to do that. As a result, he's not going to have any influence this game. It's really that simple. So right here I'm warning them, yeah, the ship sailed. Urgot fucked up royally, so we have to deal with Kled now. In case you're wondering, I will kill both of them in a moment. Right there I'm pointing out, he's ranged. He can actually put his shield up, auto-attack one, Q the other, and that's going to slow them. It's not going to help for Kled's ult, but it's actually going to significantly slow Rammus. For some reason, he's not doing anything. I can't really explain it. So right there, I'm trying to tell him, it's on you, buddy. You didn't adjust your play. It's your fault you fed this much. He could play safe. I mean, if the jungler is camping your lane, you want to look around. The question you need to ask yourself is there a winning lane? If you notice, bot lane is doing pretty well. So then his win condition is just, don't die. He may have to give up some CS here and there, but as long as he just stops feeding, he'll be fine. Seriously, that's his entire win condition. Do not die. He could seriously idle under tower, and that would be just as good. But no, too complicated for him. So right there, go ahead and smite TF. So in case you're wondering real quick, this was the Thursday game. For Wednesday, I couldn't get a bot lane. Like, I'm hoping they were autofill just due to how bad they were. For Thursday, I couldn't get a top laner. So right here, Rammus has Cinderhulk. So I want to proc that so he draws tower aggro, and then I want to go on Kled. So I go down, but I manage to take down both of them, and we finally get Kled shut down. And now keep in mind, Urgot can do that at any time he wishes, because he has a suppression. All he has to do is when they're tower diving him is suppress Rammus. Kled would have to use his claw to interrupt it, and that's on a time delay. So it's not actually going to interrupt him immediately. So as I was saying earlier, the Urgot is solid if you know how to play him, but this dude has no clue. So I mentioned that Ari believes in you because I know this guy's hopeless. But anyway, on that back, I went ahead and got Ninja Tabby because Kled is the problem. His main source of damage is that 3 or 4 hit combo. I forgot what exactly his W is. But if I can block some of the damage there, I'll be fine. The other thing that I need to do is get the Bramble Vest so that I can do the whole mini Thornmail reflect damage thing. And I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But you can see Ari, she knows to back off, play safe. She doesn't really run into that problem. And right there I point out his name in case you didn't see it. And I can't emphasize it enough, the whole party up top is because Urgot doesn't know what he's doing. It's a free lane, those are the ones you want to gank in camp. So this is actually really good play on Rammus' part, and really sloppy on Urgot. So if you notice, he has the Bramble Vest now. As a result, he's reflecting some of the damage, and that's actually limiting the healing I get out of my W. So right there I end up eating the TF gold card and his wild cards. We get his flash, and overall I'd say my ghost for his flash is worth it in my book. It's a much shorter cooldown on my part. It's just, in the meantime, I need to try to get some gold. I'm pretty low health. If I go back, I'm basically in the same situation I was when I bought the Ninja Tabby. I don't want that. So I can go ahead and kill the wolf camp, it's worth a little bit of gold. Ideally, I want to get a Sheen on this back so I get a little bit more CDR, that way I can spam my stuff. I also get the Spellblade procs when I'm weaving my Qs. I'll tell you what, it's not even weaving them. And right here, just to how behind Urgot is, I mean, he doesn't have an item yet. There's nothing I can do for him. So you can see, Kled has the Tiamat and the Joram's Fist, he has Ninja Tabby. Urgot, he's getting close to having his Phage, but he's so far behind. Not entirely sure how Bran got caught out, but you can see Zillion using his passive there. And the team really had no reason to be there, and if you're wondering why that is, we lost Brand, we're down a person. Unless we have proof that they squandered a lot of ults, why be there? All you're doing is just feeding them kills. Now the good news is we are able to turn this around, and I wanted to kill Rammus here because there's a dragon on the field. We can go ahead and get that. Water Dragon is actually pretty good for our team comp because I'm pretty mana hungry. Urgot can use a little bit more mana regen, as could Ari. So taking the jungler off should mean free dragon. And I guess Bran can use it too. So right here I'm just pulling it out. Pinging them that I don't have my ult up just in case someone tries to come over here, and you can see Ari provides zoning. Unfortunately, that's one of those things, like this isn't a slight against her, but I've noticed these days when I jungle, people don't do that. Then they wonder why we lose Baron when 4 or 5 people actually jump into the pit and steal it, potentially killing us in the process. So that's a good move on Ahri's part. If you're interested in being a mid laner, generally you don't really have DPS to contribute to the dragon unless you have a spammable spell like Malzahar, Karthus, and a few others. And if you're in the camp like Ahri, the best thing you can do is actually stand between the enemy team and the dragon, basically telling them, if you want to get this dragon, you have to get through me. And it's very possible for the entire group to get through, but you can probably pick off 1 or 2, or even better, just like weaken all 5 of them, so if they try to go for it, they're going to get aced. So with Kled here, we really don't want to try to push anything. We don't have the resources just yet to actually answer him.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
So right here I was a little curious on which is faster between Powerball and... God, I forgot what the E is called. So right there, Rammus goes down. And he's pretty much the thing we really have to worry about under tower. Brand should not really be going here. They could have turned and killed him, to be honest. So right here I want to try to stop the minions, pull their aggro so that no random shot kills Ahri. And here comes TF. So she screwed up by using her Q. Had she been able to throw the Q the other way, she would have been perfectly fine. Right there she walks right into the wild card and goes down. So keep in mind she had 2 ways to save her life, as I was saying. She could use the Q, the movement speed when walking back from it, and she could have just stood still after he threw the gold card. By the way, right here, this is pushing in a tower. Urgot's coming up here. Now, the Cinder is going to gradually kill stuff, so I'm going to kill the melee stuff and try to stay out of range of the ranged ones. And that way they'll hit me, but they'll be frozen in place so Urgot can get them and maybe get back into the game. Now keep in mind, since this is a post-game commentary and I already know what happens.
Enemy double kill.
Thing is, by giving him that CS, it did cost us some kills. Really annoys me that the Phage isn't actually on the first list of items for the longsword. I don't know if it's a range from like cheapest to most expensive, but I buy Phage pretty often because I just like it, what it builds into, either Trinity or Black Cleaver. I don't know if the customized item sets are back in the game yet, but if they are, I probably should look into putting some together so I don't have to deal with that. So right there, I just wanted to stall them long enough for the Baron to kill the Herald. We trade Crystal Arrow for bullet time. Force the flash. And then I smite the Baron here just for the healing, because I knew we had misfortune. I don't need to stick around and potentially risk dying. So we come out significantly ahead from that, I'd have to say. And, like, we have the chance to actually get something done here. Like, we can try to pressure mid without the bullet time there. It's not as scary. Thing is, we still do have to worry about Kled. But the good news, after all that was said and done, I do have the Trinity Force, so I can go ahead and grab that. And we're slowly making a comeback here. So right here comes Zillion, and Urgot shouldn't be staying there taking that. I ping, hey, you need to get out of there. If he double bombs you, you're dead. The good news is he already used his reset, or whatever the W is called, so there's only that one to worry about. And you can see Urgot did have his spell shield up. So right here we get the Zillion ult. And my E is coming up. So I E him into the wall. And here comes Kled. So the only way to escape Kled is he has to miss his Q. So right there I get away. Now you have to keep in mind the Q has an extremely low cooldown and it's resourceless. It's not based off a charge system or anything. So as long as he can keep landing those, it's impossible to actually escape him. He can even jump walls with his E. And then when you remember he's only dismounted for like 2 seconds, hopefully you can see why Kled really is a bullshit champion. So right there, I slam her into the wall. She uses bullet time for some reason, even though it's not going to do anything. I mean, Urgot does lower her attack damage with his passive. This is still pre-work Urgot, keep in mind. She couldn't have gotten anything done. All she really did was just burn ult. So in case you're wondering, the supports will be going AFK periodically through the game, Zillion included.
A summoner has reconnected.
Right here I'm getting the Bramble Vest so that when Kled hits me, his healing is limited. Thing is, he doesn't actually have any lifesteal, but the Titanic does give him a lot of health regen, so still cutting into that is pretty important. Now if you look on the minimap, we can see Misfortune. With the dragon coming up and her all the way over there, this is pretty much free. So we get the Rammus Flash. Unfortunately, we don't have anything to actually jump over to him to secure the kill, but it's a small something. So right now, my eyes are on Misfortune. If you know, she's in the top lane. I want to kill this so she doesn't exactly see me coming. But unfortunately, TF ult, so she has no excuse not to see me. Keep in mind, she is running Ghostblade. She's making a pretty big mistake, not just in terms of this, but one of the mistakes I've seen as of this new patch is a lot of AD carries don't know if they're crit or their lethality, and as a result, they build both. This is extremely common on Jhin in particular, but Misfortune is also a very big offender. What ends up happening is they go for a little bit of both, and as a result, they excel in neither field, and the Misfortune is not an issue here, hopefully you can see. Anyway, with the whole bot lane fight being resolved, I figure, you know what, let's go get the top tower. It's going to free up some gold. For Rammus, he's going to go pretty heavy in the armor department if I remember correctly, which means it's up to Ahri and Brand to kill him. Now, the person who's going to answer my push is going to be TF, and he has a little toy that makes him a little annoying. And what's that, you ask?
An ally has been slain.
Why, it's a Banshee's Veil. So I wanted to try to pop it with either my Q or my W, but the E ends up having to do it. And I'm not entirely sure why the Fear didn't proc there exactly. That ends up saving his life. I don't know if it's that you land on top of them, it doesn't always work, but the Fear definitely seems glitchy these days. I don't know if Riot changed something, but yeah. So right here I want to get out. I notice the pink ward is still standing there. It's just if I stick around, Rammus and Kled can come for me, and I can't fight them both unless I'm under tower like earlier. Not sure if you know this, but on the scoreboard, Rammus has Thornmail now. Kled has both a Titanic and a Cleaver. So my next order of business is a Dead Man's Plate, and the reason for that is just so I can outrun them. If you don't know what the Bramble Vest does, I moused over it here for you. When you take damage, you reflect a little bit of damage back. It's a flat amount, not scaling off anything. So right here, I knew I was going to die. We were going to lose something, and I figure Urgot can wave clear a little bit better than I can. Pretty much if it were me that was still alive, I actually would have just gotten poked out from under the tower. But as I was saying about the Bramble Vest, you reflect a flat 20 damage. When you get to Thornmail, it'll scale, but the important thing is that it inflicts grievous wounds. Overall, it makes it a very, very solid AD carry busting item. Like, prior to this, I really did have a lot of complaints about Warwick, but this whole Bramble Vest thing really does answer a lot of the problems involving the character. If there's a Warwick on the field, which I hope I can show in the near future, get a Bramble Vest. You really will shut him down hard. he relies on hitting you for a lot of sustain and the Grievous... I actually mean like auto-attacking, by the way. So he relies on that to basically sustain himself. If you have the Bramble Vest, he just swings faster. He doesn't really heal anymore. So right here you can see that my team is excelling when it comes to getting caught out. And there really isn't much we can do about Kled. Now, I didn't actually mean to hit the tower there. I wanted to use the whole thing on Kled himself. Right here you can see with the speed-ups from Zilean, it's very, very difficult to get away from him. Ends up being Zilean who has to kill me because I have that much armor, but no MR. And I really don't want to play with this team, to be honest. I'm voting yes is still one of those things about, hey guys, bend over, pull your head out of your ass, and we can still win this one, but if you don't want to, the game's already over. So right here I'm trying to ping Ashe, hey, Rammus is right there, if you're not paying attention, he's going to kill you. So if you see the Catalyst and the Null Magic Mantle in his inventory, the next thing he wants is the Abyssal Mask. I believe the reflected damage from the Thornmail is magic damage, and then Cinderhulk itself is also magic damage, so that amplifies his DPS overall. I think in the Rammus game I just had a full AD comp, so I didn't have any reason to actually build that. It boosts my damage, yes, but compared to how stacked the team was, it was in my best interest to actually just go heavy in armor. So that did cost me my smite, but the thing is, as long as we can take him off the field, we can actually look into doing Dragon. So right there I wanted to pull the aggro there so Ashe can get that. The red buff is going to heal her up. And right here we're gathering together to hop over with a blast cone. So if you look at Ashe's health, it is going up pretty quickly. I go ahead and smite secure that because Kled could try some sort of really random reckless play. And I really wanted the Mountain Dragon. So right here I'm just trying to go around and get some vision. Due to the whole trample thing on my E and also having Ghost, I can outrun them if need be. As a result, it's really up to me to get the vision this game because Bran being extremely immobile is a sitting duck. So right now you'll see he's in the top lane, just so someone's wave clearing, that's not necessarily a bad thing. But right here, he has no business going over to where he's going. Luckily, the Rammus and Zilean don't come after him, but that could have gone very, very bad. Now, with them coming here, I have to forfeit the Scuttle Crab. So overall, I think the wise choice for the enemy team would have been to go ahead and get the Scuttle Crab, but instead they wanted to make some sort of play mid. So keep in mind, Kled is giving a movement speed buff to Rammus. And just like that, we lose our 80 carries. So right there, Kled uses his dismount to jump the wall, but I can use my E then. And as long as you can hit him before he gets back on, he'll go down. The main problem we're having this game, though, is just my team cannot grasp that they have an engage comp. We have to play more carefully in wide open areas than normal, because they have the Rammus who's going to come in, they have the Kled, they have TF who can he can ult in. I'm trying to remember, it's Destiny Gate or something like that. Basically, they can't afford to be staying out in the wide open areas like that. It's just begging to lose the game. So right here, they're going towards the Baron Pit, but you can see Misfortune is down bot. So with her down there, that made me think that they're not actually going to go for it, but I want to hit TF. So that's the objective to going up here. So I think the bush is warded, so I'm going to use the cone to jump it. So right there I needed to pop his Banshee, then Ari can charm him out of his gate channel. I think it's a channel. But she can interrupt that and he doesn't go anywhere. So right there Ari was wondering how did I kill him. It was the lingering burn of the Cinderhulk to be exact. And right there we got stunned, but doesn't really matter with Rammus and TF out. This should be a free bear. So the whole warping Zillion thing it could have gone very, very badly. That was a bad move on Urgot's part. Yes, it is the support, but the thing is he can still stun us, and the whole double bomb thing will cause a damage spike to the Baron and potentially allow a steal. So do not do that. When the Baron gets low, just go all in to finish the thing, otherwise you're risking just handing it over to the enemy. So with Kled and Rammus down, this is our chance to actually make a move. So we need to go ahead and take these. Then we're free to go for the tower. TF uses red card, but I don't really care to dodge it. I mean, it's damage, yes, but it's not really something I have to worry about. So when Rammus taunts me while I have my E going, I basically will knock him back. Then with a little help from Ashe, I can go ahead and get away. The volley wasn't really necessary. It put her a little bit more in danger, as you'll see in a second. So right here, I'm just going to try to linger while I heal, and I think there's a ward here based on how Rammus turned around. He realized I'm coming back for him if he goes on Ashe. And due to the enhanced Baron recall, we can actually get out of here pretty quickly. So the main thing that I want right now is some form of regen, which is going to be the Spectre's Cowl. So unfortunately right here I do not have my ult. And if not for the whole TF thing, I think we could have actually gotten something accomplished there. Overall, the bigger mistake that's being made right now is once we got that middle tower down, I know they wanted the tower in the bot lane, it's just we can't afford to split up, period. They excel at picking people off, and the only one who can actually fight them on even ground, unfortunately, is me. So, by staying out in the open like that, when everyone else is recalling and you stay, you're just handing them a free kill. So right here I need to stop this from going into the tower. And I want the Spirit Visage for the CDR plus the healing that comes with it. Hopefully at this point it's a little obvious that we're hanging on by the skin of our teeth, for one. Second thing is, we really do need my ult. It's the single biggest disruptive force we have at our disposal. Unfortunately, there is a negative synergy between my ult and Brand's, but it's not too bad exactly. And then if I do aim it correctly, we can actually have a positive synergy. So right here I wanted to take Misfortune out of the fight. Forcing Zillion to ult himself is actually better for us. So we do lose Ari, but we get Rammus and Zillion. So basically 3 of them for 2 of us. Unfortunately, I'd say it's the 2 of us that matter the most. So you can see Kled is still there, but he's not... Oh, this is a beauty. So right here, if he's not porting in, you have to assume he's over the back wall. They didn't. So this is one of those things, hey, here's a free objective. Now the good news is, since Kled went down, TF is the only one who has it, but that's one of those predictable moves that you may not actually know unless you've played against a TF a lot. He's basically using his Destiny to see the dragon's health in this case. He'll use the gate to appear over the wall, and if the team doesn't actually pull the thing out, he can just wildcard and kill it. His wildcards are like his primary source of damage. When you realize that TF only really has 2 spells that deal damage, the 2 he has are going to deal damage. They have to make up for the 2 that don't. So right there I'm pinging that my ult is up. And I can't really protect Ashe from both Kled and Rammus. The good news though is Kled isn't up just yet, otherwise I imagine you'd probably hear the horn and they'd be on her already. So I can kill Misfortune if Rammus isn't there. As such, I want to wait in the brush to see if maybe he'll take off while she overextends. Now, it's very likely that she's going to because we've seen her do it already this game. Lo and behold, there she is. So I want to have my W up because that way if she tries to use her W, the damage there is going to automatically disable her strut. I mention from time to time that one of Misfortune's biggest weaknesses are dots because they disable strut. Until Riot compensates for that in some way, shape, or form, if you can get on her, she's toast. Singe, Teemo, Cassiopeia, Malzahar, all of these are Misfortune's nightmares. Twitch, I don't think I said it. Basically, she can't run away from those guys. So Rammus wants no piece of me. If I can go back and get the Thorn Mail. Unfortunately, I don't have enough to buy an elixir just yet, but we are approaching the end of the game. It's getting to the point now where the death timers are so long, and with an opening in their base, we can go ahead and just push in if we win a fight. For them, our top lane is kind of open, that's one they have to pressure. So right here I pop my E, I pop my Ghost, and the thing is I need to get in front of Rammus. So right there I use my ult to knock him out of his Powerball, and I'm staying on top of him so that if he tries to use his Q, he doesn't go anywhere. So bullet time goes off, Urgot kills him I believe, or no, I have to run him down. No, Urgot got it. So we got Rammus's life and the bullet time. So we are in a very, very solid position at the moment. Basically, if they try to initiate, all they have left is Kled, and the rest of us can pile on him. While we are down ults, yes, it's just we don't really need those to kill one guy. So Ahri ends up taking a lot of Baron damage here. Basically like 60% of her health. And it would have been nice if one of our ADs had been around, but it doesn't matter. Urgot's at least providing zoning here. So I assumed TF was going to try his trick again, but he saw Urgot staying over there, so he knew better. Had he actually tried that, it would have been the end of him. Right now we have enough for the Elixir of Iron, and I want this one for Tenacity and the whole Path of Iron thing. So I'm going to be jumping in the enemy backline with either my E, my Ghost, or my ult. So by leaving this path behind me, that's going to allow other people to follow suit. So right here we actually should be in the mid lane trying to go for the open inhibitor, but yeah. So right there we needed the volley to pop the Banshee. Hopefully you can see why I don't really have a high opinion of the item overall. There are certain niches where it can work, but with no control over the spell shield, it's just never going to really be that great of an item. So right here is the whole bullshit that I was talking about, how you cannot escape a Kled. So I put my W up to interrupt the Moby Boots on Rammus. And right here he's just going to chain his grappling hooks non-stop and I can't go anywhere. And it's the same way for pretty much any character in the game that does not have a blink, dash, jump, what have you. It wouldn't be as bad if there was some sort of charge system on his Q, since they don't want to make him have some sort of resource, but yeah. And then the other thing that I need to point out about the whole blink, dash, jump thing is, even if you do that over a wall, Kled can use his E to follow you as long as he's mounted. So, you're not really going anywhere. But anyway, if you notice, he has a death stance now, so the Thorn Mail is going to come in handy for when I fight him. It's going to... I don't know how it interacts with the bleed exactly, but it's still going to limit the healing that he does. So right here, I'm just waiting to come up. Pop your E when you're leaving base because you can use the home guard movement speed with that. You'll get the mana back instantly, and then the E will be back up by the time you arrive at your destination. So I think Ari's the only one with Baron right now, and of course she's sitting in the jungle for no reason. Had she actually been with someone else in some place else, the Baron would actually make the minions more resistant to AoE damage. It'd speed their stuff up. I think they deal a little bit more damage too. Now right here I moved to the side so that I can absorb the Kled ult. Right here I need to escape the Misfortune Bullet Time while also peeling for Ashe. So with Rammus down, I'm going for MF. So she goes down to Brand, then I get to finish off Kled here. And then unfortunately TF's gold card is going to save him. It's a 2-second stun. It's going to be a little bit less for me because of the whole Elixir of Iron giving me some tenacity. I'm also running the Tenacity Mastery. Pretty much if not for Kled getting fed, I actually could have gone Merc Treads this game. So right there I don't really care to dodge his stuff. I mean, he's not really a threat to me. But Ashe will go ahead and kill him. You can see the AFK Zillion, but we had Brand out a few different times this game. So here you can see the post-game stat screen. Hopefully you'll see why I'm disappointed. I give the honors to Ashe, I believe. You can see it's an S-. Even in the clips you're going to see in a moment, I had all S games when I played this. But I almost outdamaged Ashe. I was almost the single most damage on the field, keeping up with Kled, almost with surpassing Ashe, and yeah. That's really, really bad. And hopefully you can see how ineffectual the Urgot was. But anyway, here come the clips. I'm just going to go quiet here and enjoy. I'm the Hero of Light. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.
Slain an enemy.
Get over here and give me my penta. That's a quad, by the way. Galio ulted, I guess, maybe.